What do people underestimate about long distance swimming and the people that do it?
I think definitely the mental side of it. Like people, if you tell them I've swum a 10K, they obviously think about, like a lot of people, they can't even run 10K. So you tell them I've swum, like they're thinking about the distance, but they don't think about, you know, if you're doing a 10K, you've done the training, you know, you can, like I can physically do 20K if I have to tomorrow, but like mentally just staying switched on and not breaking down during that race is really, really challenging. And like, I do think people understand it a bit like in the ocean, you know, people are scared of sharks and the waves and whatnot. But yeah, definitely the mental side of staying switched on for that long. Like,
And how long does a race typically last for you, like say a 10K swim?
so 10K, it's like 2.5 hours. Like, it's
Wow.
a
So
long
compared
go.
to even running, you're doubling that, like in terms of
and you're, especially
time.
if you're doing those races, you can spend a whole lot of it kind of by yourself. So yeah, trying to stay switched on and keep pushing yourself, to push your body for 2.5 hours straight when you're kind of a bit on your own is really hard.
You're set, exploring sport and art for well-being. This is your set.
Some people test their limits on stage. Others test them in open water, where there are no lanes, no walls, and no easy way out. Today's guest has been in the water since she was 8 years old, building her strength through competitive swimming, pushing herself into the demanding world of long-distance open water events. Chelsea Harkins is a Western Australian athlete, lifeguard, and architecture student. Someone who understands both discipline and endurance. From state-level competition in the pool to standing on the podium at Open Water Nationals in the 10K event. Her journey is defined by resilience and quiet determination. Now she's training for one of the most iconic swims in the country, Rottnest, and in this episode we'll talk about endurance, setbacks, mindset, and what it takes to keep going when there's no finish line in sight. Welcome to the Your Set podcast.
Hey, thanks for having me.
So how are you feeling today?
Good. Bit nervous.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You got it. It's always good fun. I'm nervous too. It's some of my first ones, but we got this. All right, so I'll just launch into some of the questions just because some of our viewers, I want to kind of inspire the youth. So you've been swimming since you were 8.
Yeah.
What first drew you to the water?
So we grew up doing, like, obviously learn to swim and everything, and then we got into squads, and like we've just always been quite keen swimmers. And I actually have like an older sibling who got kind of pushed a bit into doing swim club, and we got sucked in as well and just kind of stuck with it, you know.
Yeah. And so had you always been drawn to the water as like a baby? Is that kind of...
Yeah, we had a backyard pool at home, so that was like a big thing. And any chance we got to the beach, like I was just always so keen to boogie board and be out there for hours. So definitely.
Oh, so good. And when did you realise that you were going to start competing in this event?
I think when we started doing squads and we were doing like Friday night races, and you know, we were pretty decent, so just kind of stuck with it. Yeah, it kept going.
And was this from school? Because I know we kind of, in Australia, we get to do swimming lessons in class, so I guess you must have loved that. But is that kind of where it grew, or had you always been competitive in swimming?
Yeah, it was kind of before school, like separate to that. We were doing, out of school comps and things like race nights, and back over in Sydney, like Metro Northwest and all those sort of carnivals. So yeah.
Is it very different, the scene within Sydney compared to Perth, like even now?
I think so. I think Perth is a lot smaller for the swimming world, but then also more open water focused. But I haven't competed quite so much over here, so I don't know. Like,
oh, that's interesting to say. Yeah, it's more that. Because I was going to say, when did you realise that endurance and distant events were your strength? So did you always start doing like 50 metres?
Yeah, I definitely started with the pool stuff, and then around like 16, I was like training with this new coach and kind of a bit borderline, oh, maybe I'll quit, maybe I won't. And he was like, look, you can't swim very fast, but you can go all day. So why don't you like give open water a crack? And then I did my first open water race, got to the national time, and then just kind of, went from there.
So your first event, you got national time?
Yeah, but like before that, I was not doing, like, I could get to state in the pool, but never like anything that.
Isn't that interesting? So did you find the first race was mindset huge to you, or was it literally because you could just do those laps in a pool?
I think it was just the laps. Like, it's definitely a tough event, but like it's only like an hour in the pool, which we're used to doing, 2-hour sessions. So it wasn't it wasn't like mentally the most challenging thing. I feel like I got a bit lucky because I just was used to doing the Ks. So
And were you nervous about, well, I mean, you said you love the beach, but I'm a bit nervous when I go to the beach with sharks and certain things.
100%. Anytime I do a race in the open water, like even now, every few hundred meters, I'm like, oh my gosh, what was that shadow?
What touched my leg?
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, that's so fair. So yeah, just on that topic of talking about the difference in the pool, open water swimming is very different from the pool. So what makes it such a unique challenge to you? Why were you like, you did it once and you did get that national time, but also I often find with motivation and sticking with a sport, you have to love it too, yeah?
Yeah, no, definitely what you were saying. Like mentally, I think both of them have their challenges, but for open water to be able to stay switched on for like an hour or two is really challenging, and to keep pushing yourself. And also like, if you're in the ocean, you're scared, like, is that a shark? Like, there's also like, it's very tactical compared to pool swimming. So there is definitely, different challenges with it.
And do you get very cold? Are you in just a normal swimsuit?
Oh,
Not wetsuits or anything?
It depends. There's certain rules. Like if the temp's, I think, under 18, you have to wear wetsuits. But generally you're in just like a race suit, kind of down to your knees. Like.
Oh, right. So they do, they have the longer race suits.
Yeah.
Those are hard to put on. I've got one. My brother was a international swimmer as well, but for shorter distance. And I remember, I don't know why, but they must have been having a sale and they end up getting me one of those suits. Bro, I put it on. I was like, I literally... Like, they're so tight.
Yeah, no, they do take quite a long time to get off. God forbid you have to go to the bathroom. Like, you cannot take that thing off during the race day,
No, that's the most challenging part of it.
Yeah, for sure.
So like you were saying just then about what you're thinking about during that race, because it's so long, what is something that goes through your mind during a 5 and 10K swim?
Okay, I know this isn't what you think it's going to, like, be, but quite often you get, like, a song stuck in your head and it will just be playing on loop in your head. I remember when I did my 10K, I had JoJo Siwa's Boomerang stuck in my head and, like, it will just play on loop, but it's kind of like, I'd rather that than be, like, panicking or whatnot, and you do try to, like, jump between that sort of thing, like, also staying switched on and like,
True.
Each lap, and if you're doing like over 5K, you can feed every lap. So you're thinking about that. You're thinking about where are the other people? Like, how far have I got left? Like,
okay, that's interesting. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's like anything, because with my background in running and now you're running too.
Yeah.
It is a thing you think about. And I've found what goes through your head is really dependent on the sport. Like I used to play netball. And that would be very different things. Like I often didn't have time to run songs in my head, but it was more thinking about the game plan.
Oh yeah, you'd have to be so switched on, 100%.
Compared to running when you're like doing a 10K run, and most of the time I'm thinking, why did I do this to myself?
Yeah, no, 100%.
Glad you're just singing JoJo with the Bobo. So can you take us back to your 10K nationals race where you placed second, which is amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you.
How did you train for that?
Oh gosh, it was like 10 or 12 sessions a week, and you'd be doing at a minimum 5 to 7Ks a session, plus gym. And that was just week in, week out. You'd also on the weekends quite often go out and try to do maybe like a 3 to 5K in the ocean. But like for us, we live quite far from the beach, so that was a bit more rare, because I do know like over here they'll quite often like even like 2 or 3 times a week swim in the ocean and that. But
yeah, have you found that's benefited you in terms of your training and kind of preparing for the race?
100%, yeah, to be able to actually train in the conditions, because swimming in the ocean is so different to the pool. If you've got current, you're trying to look over, you have to look around the whole time, and it's a lot more upper body work to be able to
I never
stay up.
thought about that, like with waves and stuff, because I guess you're swimming side on, is that right? Like I have no idea about this. Like,
it's just a lot more like sighting, and you end up you're swimming quite vertical, like polo the whole time.
So the waves crossing over you this way.
It depends. Like it depends on the current. And, if you have a really bad year, like when they do roto, like sometimes you're going into it, sometimes it's going sideways. Like,
oh my goodness, yeah, it's hard enough without adding that all that fun stuff on. So distance swimming requires kind of a different mental toughness.
Yeah,
I could assure you of that.
Yeah.
And how do you train for that side of it, like the kind of wellness side and getting your mind prepared for a race? Like, do you have kind of go-to things you do before a race?
I think most swimmers do this generally, but like, listening to lots of music beforehand, just trying to get yourself a bit in the zone. I think for me, I try to focus on just being in a good mood. Like beforehand, I try to listen to like oddly enough, like UK drill, just something that you can't like be in a bad mood listening to.
So you're balancing lifeguarding,
Yeah.
studying architecture and training. What does a typical week look like for you?
Yeah, so it's generally pretty similar. Like I'm very much a creature of habit. So at the moment, I'm training swimming 5 mornings a week, and yeah, that's fairly full on. Generally up at about 4:30. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And then I have uni 3 days a week plus all the extra work outside because architecture is very, assignment based. So, and then, yeah, about 3 or 4 shifts a week of work. And normally I'd also have running training 2 or 3 times in there as well, but I am injured at the moment. So,
Wow.
yeah.
So busy. And how do you find the lifeguarding works with your, swimming and your sport? Because sometimes I find I'm studying PT
Yeah.
and I'm always a bit nervous if I start running classes, if that will affect my training because you're using a lot of energy.
Yeah.
Does lifeguarding require that, or you're more watching, making sure the space is like you're more careful of those dangerous situations?
I think it depends. So I'm not like a beach, I'm a pool lifeguard, but definitely if it's a hot day, that can really take it out of you. Like I'll come home and even if I've only done a 4-hour shift, just because you're in the sun for that whole time, no matter how much water you drink, it does definitely affect you. But my gym's right near lifeguarding, so I'll tend to kind of fit like the gym around it. So in that way, it does actually kind of work out.
And with the gym, do you have a set program that you do, or do you kind of have you spoken to your coach about it as well?
No, I don't know. It does vary a bit, but definitely focusing lots on shoulder work and all that sort of thing. But I tend to like progressive overload, so I do track it a bit myself. So it's not set, but there is some structure to it.
There's
definitely.
certain goals and things like
yeah.
that. Well, that's interesting. And I just want to stay on architecture too, because I know it's hard, like a student athlete.
Yeah.
It's always a risk because you're so tired from studying. And I know I had a friend that went through architecture. I know how much work it is. Well, from an outside point of view.
Yeah.
It seems pretty hectic with all the assignments. So do you get much sleep? Is my question.
Yeah. Look, sometimes I won't lie, the all-nighters, they do get to you, and like I try to keep that to the weekend if I can, because like I can't obviously be up till midnight and then have to get up at 4:30 for training. Like sleep is such a huge thing for me. If I'm not in bed by like 8 or 9 p.m, it definitely really affects me very quickly. So
yeah, it's such a good thing to like be careful of. I'm terrible at it, so I won't talk too much about that. But that's good because that prevents injury as well, I suppose.
Oh, 100%.
So I know we were talking a bit before about running and things like that, but have you found that your muscle soreness and kind of your ability to recover, has that changed adding gym and running?
Yeah, so much. I've had to tell my swimming coach, like, obviously when I'm running training, because I do notice the day after a running session, I'll be struggling a fair bit more in the pool, especially after gym. But like, as I was saying before, that's so great with like I'm training for Rottnest next year, so I have a few months to play around, and my swimming won't be at its peak, but I'm building that muscle. And
I think that's what sometimes people don't realize per se, like if they're not in sport, that you kind of had these seasons of time where you're doing, like I know with our track squad, we're kind of going into off season, which is winter, which we kind of focus on more long distance stuff. Is that similar with your swimming? Are you, because I know it is mostly endurance, but are you doing more shorter stuff to kind of keep that speed up, or is that not?
Yeah, I think quite often going into, depending on summer or winter, you can change whether you're doing longer or shorter distance. I think at the moment we're still kind of keeping the Ks up there and doing more 100, 200, 400 reps, but it definitely does change, and you tend to taper off obviously into competitive season, but at the moment we're definitely kind of smashing out the Ks a bit.
Yeah, always fun keeping those songs in your head.
Yeah.
So, do you see similarities? This is a little bit of a weird question, but between architecture and swimming in terms of discipline or creativity, like problem solving?
Yeah, no, I've never really thought about it, but 100% there is like overlap weirdly.
It's just because, like, I'll just give you a bit more to that question because it's a bit of a throw. It's more like what I found was my athletic background and my ability to, like, kind of really throw myself into sports and be competitive has affected kind of everything I do. So when I go to set as an actor, I'm looking at it more as a mindset of an athlete. It's kind of like you prep, you do the time, you have certain goals. Is it the same for, like, have you found it's kind of bled into the architecture work of your mindset more so? And even, I mean, the endurance of just keeping going when all these assignments are coming.
Yeah, definitely the discipline is there. Like, you know, if you're really busy and you only have 2 or 3 hours a day that you have this time slot, you have to get the work done. So you end up kind of scheduling your uni work as if it was a training session in a weird way. And yeah, definitely like mentally looking at these giant assignments that are going over 6 to 8 weeks, like you do kind of break it down a bit like how you would with a, you know, how you're training. So yeah, definitely.
I'd hate to see your diary. Got a good one.
Hideous.
Yeah, same. Okay, so we'll just move on to the Rottnest swim because I know it's kind of a further goal. Do you have any goals before then though? Just before we move to that?
Well, definitely to be able to do Rottnest, I need to do another 10K swim at some point this year. So my friend and I from swimming are actually looking at this. I'm not sure what it's called, but it's from, I think, Margaret River to Dunsborough or to Busselton or something. There's some other 20-something K swim that's in November. So that's probably
20?
Yeah.
You're just going to up it by another 10?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So that and another probably 10K swims in there.
So I guess in that sense, I'm always going to relate it back to running because I don't understand
100%.
swimming. But because I know when you compete in the 800, you want to be trying to get like quite a lot of Ks.
Yeah.
So like I'm trying to up my Ks past like 40 Ks a week. So I guess it would be the same. If you're competing in a 10K, you want to be able to swim a 20K kind of decently.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, you're definitely, it's just getting the Ks in. Like if you're not swimming at least, 5 to 7 Ks a session, like you're not doing nearly enough. Like
yeah. Do you ever swallow the water? Or?
Yes, that's the thing. Swimming open water in the ocean, you're just throwing up the whole time. Like people don't think about that, but yeah, you are. Like, and it's really hard to keep if you do get a bit of food to keep it down. Like
yeah, because I went recently because I kind of avoid the beach. I love like going there and things like that, but just it's always a bit scary, the waves and things. But when I've gone surfing, I remember I got dumped quite a few times, but it was all fun. Like it was fine. Yeah. And then later, bro, I've never felt sicker in my life.
Yeah, the dehydration is really hard.
What? But it was even just swallowing the water. Somehow it went through my nose or something, and I was like, I am so sick right now. Yeah. So it's like I can't imagine doing that all the time.
Yeah, look, I can't eat seafood. Like, anytime I eat seafood, I'm just like having war flashbacks.
Oh no. Yeah. So on that point of you getting through those hardships, what do people underestimate about long distance swimming and the people that do it?
I think definitely the mental side of it. Like people, if you tell them I've swum a 10K, they obviously think about, like a lot of people, they can't even run 10K. So you tell them I've swum, like they're thinking about the distance, but they don't think about, you know, if you're doing a 10K, you've done the training, you know, you can, like I can physically do 20K if I have to tomorrow, but like mentally just staying switched on and not breaking down during that race is really, really challenging. And like I do think people understand it a bit, like in the ocean, you know, people are scared of sharks and the waves and whatnot, but yeah, definitely the mental side of staying switched on for that long. Like,
and how long does a race typically last for you, like say a 10K swim?
So a 10K, it's like 2.5 hours. It's
wow, so compared to even running, you're doubling that, like in terms of
and you're especially if you're doing those races, you can spend a whole lot of it kind of by yourself. So trying to stay switched on and keep pushing yourself to push your body for 2.5 hours straight when you're kind of a bit on your own is really hard. Yeah,
I always found swimming way harder than running. Like I'll pop out and do a 5K run anytime, but you tell me to do a 5K swim. Very different.
Yeah.
So what's, like, looking back on kind of your history, where you started, you were always a water baby, I guess, always drawn to the water. What has it taught you? Like, what has swimming taught you about yourself? What is this open water journey and competing in this?
I think it's just given me a lot of confidence. You know, when I'm struggling with just anything generally in life, it's kind of like, look, you swam a 10K, you got there, you did that. Most people can't say they've done that. And maybe that's a bit, you know, but
I'm the same.
It's a really good backing for my confidence in just general life and approaching something. It's like, look, if you could do that, you can suck it up and do whatever this other thing is.
I'm the exact same, and I know, like, as women especially, we need to pull back on that and not feel like we're, you know, and Australians, the tall puppy syndrome.
Yeah, 100%.
I think, like, it's so true, and I think it's important, and that's why I kind of launched this podcast as well, because it's so important to talk about how good sport is for, not only your health, like physically, but also mentally. And I'm the exact same. Like I'll go throughout a day, like I was saying, I just ran a 12K this morning, and it just sets you up for the day.
Yeah.
Like you just feel good about yourself, and that's okay to say and okay to admit. And and I think it's really healthy to have that mindset, and it helps you get through kind of tough times because you're like, well, I did that.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, honestly, if you're waking up at 4:30 and going to training, no matter what happens the rest of the day, you're going to feel, I've been productive, like I feel good.
Yeah, and you've got that discipline kind of set up, so you'll go about it. And that's why I asked that question about the architecture, because, you've built in that discipline. You're scheduling your uni and you've got those techniques that you do, which is really helpful. So because this podcast is all about kind of inspiring the youth and talking about, and that's why I love talking to people that are student athletes. It's not their only thing they do in their life. Like, it's important to also chat to these people because it's insane what they're doing. But I just really like, a kind of whole, well-rounded person. So what's some advice you'd give someone wanting to step into open water swimming for the first time?
Gosh, it's not as scary as you think. Like, a lot of people can't even, I don't mean to undermine this, but they can't, they won't do a 5K, but they'll be swimming a 5K session or whatever. I think it's not, it's not nearly as scary as you think. There's no pressure on the time. Like, you take as long as you need to take. And, you feel so good after it. And the confidence that it will give you is just, like, you can't beat it.
I guess it's like that, so many hurdles with swimming. I even found I couldn't be bothered with swimming by the time you were getting wet and you got the cap and all this stuff. Do you wear a cap in open water?
Oh, you have to.
Yeah, okay. And the goggles, do they fill up a lot?
Yes, that can be an issue, especially, like, that's another strategic thing. People will try to rip your cap or goggles off, and, like, if that happens, your race is gone, especially as a girl with long hair.
Wow.
Like,
Oh, so people get dirty.
Oh, yeah. Like, you have to cut your nails and everything and take all the jewelry out because people, any chance they get.
Do they check? You cut your nails?
Yeah, like, they'll check that it's, like, you can't see it from the other side because people like scratch you, they grab you, they try to pull you, like, grab the back of your swimmers and yank you under, like, over the top of you. In
water too, I'd be like, like, I can't do it. Wow, because you don't think, like, I've only ever done swimming where you're in your own lane, which really suits me, but I can't imagine the kind of pack, especially in water, because you kind of don't have as much control, I'd say, like, as cycling or running. When a group, you kind of, the waves are pushing you all around. Wow, that's interesting. Very competitive then. So do you start outside the water and you have to run in? Is that in the race, or the time starts when you're in the water?
So, it depends. With races like Rottnest, you start out of the water and, like, you run down the beach, and then when you finish, you run up the beach. But for, like, Swimming Australia official races, so, like, open water national state, you start in the water, like, in a line, essentially, because it's all just swimming, so you don't have that. Because the run.
So you got no boost off. You just got to go.
Yeah, you just got to go. And the hardest part is definitely the first, like, 200 meters. So you start in this line of maybe 50 people, and then in 200 meters you have to merge to go around a buoy. So you've got, like, 50 people all trying to, like, they're sprinting, all trying to merge in at
Can
one
only
time.
imagine you get pushed into the buoy occasionally.
Pushed, punched.
Oh, no. And I know you just mentioned the Rottnest swim, so I want to loop back to that.
Yeah.
What makes that such a meaningful goal to you? Like, why are you sticking with it? Because I know it was cancelled, which is, a bit upsetting when any event's cancelled because you've been working towards it.
Yeah.
But how come you wanted to do it?
I think it's just such an iconic event to say, like, especially if you're from Perth and you can see the island and how far away it is, to be like, I swam there. Like, that would be really cool. And I've seen my brother do it 2 or 3 times now, and like, it's a massive feat, like, to do that. Anyone that's done it or has seen someone do it, like, it's really impressive. So I think that would be really great.
So it runs in the family. So your mum and dad swimmers too?
No, weirdly they're not. But no, my brother's, he's definitely more competitive, but he'd be very offended.
Oh, no, you're right. I'm the same with my brother. He was, like, so competitive, and I just, like, I can do breaststroke. What are you talking about?
No, mum and dad, not, like, they both can swim quite well, I think, for their generation relatively, but they're not competitive. But definitely my brother and my sister used to as well. So
interesting. And they kind of push you along, sibling rivalry and all.
Oh, 100%.
Okay, so thanks for all those amazing insights into your world and the crazy world you live in, all those things you're doing. Good luck with everything. So I just want to do these few questions, which I do to all my guests at the end of the podcast. So just prepare. No answer's wrong. So are you an early riser or a night owl?
Both.
Depends.
I'm always up early, but I definitely am, like, most creative and productive at, like, midnight.
So would you be doing your architecture work at night and then focusing on training in the morning?
Yeah.
That's kind of what I do as well in the arts. What's your go-to comfort food?
Wafer sticks. My favourite food ever. Like, perfect mix of savoury and sweet.
Oh, okay, each to their own. What's your biggest pet peeve?
Oh, people camping in the right-hand lane on the motorway.
Oh.
Yeah, they need to get out of there. Like, if you're not
Wow.
overtaking, get out of the right-hand lane. I'm very passionate about
Okay. I've got a lot, so I agree. Like, I
Yeah.
could list off a few. If you were given a chance to steal something and you know you got away with it, so
Okay.
no one's finding you, you're all good, you're set,
Okay.
what would it be?
Can I steal a Ferrari? Like a
You
convertible
can
Ferrari?
steal whatever you
Okay,
want.
well, I now have a convertible Ferrari.
Oh, I love that. One guy said like a army jet or something. I was like, wow,
Oh, why
we're
not?
going big.
Yeah, why not?
But Ferrari sounds very classy. Do you have a favourite song? Jojo and the Bobo.
Oh, I don't know. I listen to like all sorts of stuff. Definitely anything Sticky Fingers or Rufus Du Sol though.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very interesting. And what movie makes you laugh?
Oh, that is a really good question.
Or just a recent one that you've like found yourself laughing. Have you ever like laughed to the point that you've cried during a movie into comedies?
I
Or?
do love like a really like good bad movie, like something like Sharknado
Yeah.
or Bad Good,
Okay.
I guess.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, yeah. It's
Yeah.
like sometimes you need those movies. So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love those ones too.
Yeah.
If you had to wear a Halloween costume every day for the rest of your life, what would you pick?
Oh, I don't know. I feel like can it be like
It can be like literally anything because you know Halloween, you can dress up as anything. So it could be like a celebrity and then you wouldn't have to go too crazy.
Yeah, I'm gonna be Kim Kardashian because why not? She has like very like
Oh.
fun outfits. Like getting
She
glammed up every
does.
day is pretty fun.
The different wigs, you'd have so much fun.
Yeah,
I love
yeah.
all of fashion. What is something you first notice about someone? So when you first meet them, yeah, what do you notice?
Definitely their smile. I feel like
Mhm.
I can tell if someone's smile is like genuine or kind
Mhm.
of forced. And I love like when someone
Mhm.
has just a really organic like smile and laugh. That's like
Yeah.
a big thing for me.
Talking to a pageant girl that forces those smiles
Yeah.
sometimes.
No, but you pull it off.
No. I know what you mean. It
Yeah.
is like it's actually kind of a bit scary if someone smiles and you're like, I don't know if you're actually smiling.
Yeah, yeah.
So what's your favorite way to celebrate a small win? So you have the big wins, you have the nationals, which is like I guess a big triumphant celebration, but
Yeah.
those little small moments, like even just an assignment or something.
I do like shopping definitely. I'd say
Mhm.
like for me, I love collecting like sunglasses. So,
Oh my
or
gosh, the
jewelry.
girls with like the really cool sunglasses.
Yeah, Oakley's.
I
oh,
wish I
love.
was one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah.
If you were a movie or a book character, and you can take some time to think about this because it took
Okay.
me some time,
Okay.
who would you be and why? You can do movie first and then book if you...
Movie. Oh gosh, I don't know. Can I be Kim Kardashian? Does that count as like
Yeah,
a movie
reality
character?
TV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they just live such like crazy lives and they're just always doing something different. I think that would be so interesting for like even a day or something.
Yeah, just to go live their life. I mean, they're
Yeah.
such entrepreneurs and
Yeah, I
Credit
don't think
where
any
it's
day's the
credit's
same.
due.
Yeah,
Yeah.
respect.
And books, do you read many books or not really?
I feel like I read more philosophical books than
Ah,
necessarily like fantasy.
Okay. That's interesting.
I'm not
You don't have to
sure.
think about
yeah.
book. Maybe it's good enough.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming on
No,
today.
thank you for having me.
I've learned a lot more about you, even though we're close through the running
Yeah.
squad,
Yeah.
and a lot more about open water swimming. So I can't
Yeah.
wait for the audience to kind of hear your journey and, be inspired by it. But thank you so much.
Oh, thank you for having me.
All right. See ya.
Ciao.